this is Haley. Back again. I really liked just sitting down and talking to you guys in my last video, and I actually got a lot more like views and comments and interactions after I posted that video, and so I think you guys like it too, just sitting down and chit-chatting together. So I thought something that we could talk about would be mental health, because it's a big part of my life and a lot of other people's, and it should not be a hard thing to talk about. Or not, well, it is a hard thing to talk about. It shouldn't be such a weird thing to talk about. So I'm gonna just talk about it. And we're gonna talk about it together. And hopefully something I say will help you with your journey of mental health. Disclaimer, I am not a mental health professional. I have not been trained or educated professionally on anything mental health wise. All I can speak on is my experience, which I have diagnosed PTSD and anxiety. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that and answer some of your guys' questions. I tend to cut out all of the parts of my videos where I'm vaping, just because I'm not proud of it. I quit smoking cigarettes a while back, and I vape now, which I'm really proud of, but I would like to quit vaping. I just haven't yet. I'm working on it. And I usually cut it out of my videos, but because sometimes talking about anxiety gives me a little bit of anxiety, I'm just gonna vape while I film this and just, deal with it, please. So, the reason that I thought that it would be a good idea to talk about this on my channel is because I deal with anxiety and panic attacks regularly, and I have been for years and years now, and so all of the people that are close in my life, I'm someone that they go to talk about anxiety whenever they get it or anything like that. Sorry. Hearts are racing. Yeah, so I just thought that maybe I could put a video out there and, help some people that maybe don't feel comfortable enough to talk to me directly when they're having a hard time, or just anybody that's watching this. So let me get to the first question. Also, I offered, when I posted telling people to ask me questions specifically about mental health, I told people that they can let me know if they want to stay anonymous or if they want me to put their name up in the video, and basically everybody either said they want to stay anonymous or that they don't care. So I'm just going to keep them all anonymous just to make it easier. So okay, first question. What is something that you do that helps with your panic attacks? So I'm assuming they mean like help prevent having a panic attack. Something that can definitely help is, people always tell you to breathe and breathe in really deep, and a lot of times when you're starting to have that panic, you can't force your body into overdrive of, like, what am I trying to say? The realistic side of your brain and the rational side of your brain that's trying to override the anxious side of your brain. It doesn't always work, and so even if someone is right there in front of you telling you, like, just breathe, just breathe, just breathe, and you know that you need to breathe, you can't get yourself to do that because you can't override that part of your brain. So something that helps with me a lot is actually a trick that a counselor showed me, is that so if you're like sitting in a chair and the chair has a back to it, and I'm sure everybody used to do this in school, like to pop their back, but if you put your arms, like your elbows, behind the chair on the back and push your chest out and breathe in deep like that, putting your arms that way, it actually forces you to breathe in deeply, and it kind of forces you to slow your breathing. So that's something that's like a quick tip for if you're having a panic attack. Something else too is something that at least helps me is just trying to be aware of your surroundings and what's happening. And sometimes this doesn't always help because maybe your surroundings is what is causing you to have a panic attack. But so say you're at home in a place that you're comfortable and you're having a panic attack because of something that triggered you. You know, it's not panic in the moment of something that's happening. Something that can help is kind of just trying to force yourself to realize, like, I'm in my home, I am in a safe place, I am going to get through this. Like, if I panic, I know that I'm at least home and I'm safe and that is okay, and just reassuring yourself of that. If you're somewhere where you don't feel comfortable, and that's part of the reason that you're panicking, trying to close your eyes and imagine your safe space. So for me, like laying in bed with Pepper, she's actually laying beside me right here in her dog bed, but every morning Pepper comes and lays and cuddles with me. She cuddles with me all night, but in the morning especially, she like tucks her head into my chest and we cuddle up. And if I'm out of the house somewhere and I feel like I'm starting to have a panic attack, I kind of just think about the next time that I'm gonna be in that spot, because it's when I feel my most relaxed, and I try and envision it and feel the feeling I feel when I'm just cuddling her in the morning, and that kind of starts to make me slow down my breathing, trying to remember that even though this panic is what is happening to me right now, eventually I'm gonna get to that safe spot again. The next question is, when you are feeling especially sad or helpless, what helps pull you out of that never-ending black hole feeling? Oh man. Honestly, celebrating the little victories, okay? So with my anxiety and the panic attacks that I have, a lot of times what tends to happen is I'll be doing good for a while, a good couple of months, where I'm just having like general day-to-day anxiety, not like really big blow-up panic attacks. And you know, I'll be doing really good, hanging out with my friends, going visiting family, and everything seems to be moving really well. And then I'll have a really, really bad day, and it kind of sets me all the way back to the beginning where I can't even get out of bed because I'm so anxious. And whenever that happens, I try and remember to celebrate the small victories. So if there's a day where the only thing that I can do is get up and take a shower, then I celebrate taking a shower. And I, you know, go all in, shave my legs, coconut oil on my legs, I do a hair mask, I do, you know, this, and that, and I tell myself that, hell yeah, I did a nice spa day, shower time for myself today, and I celebrate it. Instead of, you know, sitting and letting myself get depressed that the only thing that I did was shower, just make it a positive thing, you know, even if it's the only thing that I could do is go to the grocery store. You know, at least I'm able to go to the grocery store. At least I have a car where I can drive it to the grocery store, and I have money to purchase the things that I went there to purchase, and that's more than a lot of people have. And I went to the grocery store today, and that's awesome. I got out of the house. If it was for 10 minutes, that's fine. That's 10 minutes that I wasn't laying in bed, you know? So celebrating those small victories, they start to add up, and you know, they start to not feel so small anymore because slowly you start to get back into your rhythm of your normal day-to-day. Because I think that there's a lot of people that get into that black hole feeling and it doesn't last forever. It really doesn't. And I can't tell you that it's never going to happen again, because for me, like I said, I go through cycles of it, but I try and celebrate the times that I'm not in that feeling and really enjoy them, because I know it's going to come again. And the more that I can get myself to do things when I am feeling okay, the easier it's going to be to get out of those black hole feelings, because I can tell myself, hey, just a couple months ago, I was doing all of these things that I couldn't even imagine doing now with my anxiety, and I will get back to doing those things eventually. This is just my time to keep taking baby steps back towards that. So, next question is there anything that you use and couldn't imagine living without that you would recommend for someone with severe depression / anxiety? It's hard because I feel like I can't speak that much on depression because I do get depressed, but it's not a diagnosed depression. What mostly happens is when my anxiety gets really, really bad and I'm having really bad panic attacks, I start to become depressed because I'm too anxious to go anywhere, and so I'm kind of bedridden and I start to get really down on myself. So in recommendations, products and stuff for anxiety, something that I used to tell people all the time is CBD, like tincture. There's no, it doesn't make you high or anything like that. It is a miracle worker. The only reason that I don't take it now is because I'm on anxiety medicine now, and so I don't really need it. It's kind of expensive, but it's really, really good. The kind that I get, I just took a dose of it in the morning and it helped me so much, and it helps you to the point where you don't even realize that it's doing anything, because it doesn't really make you feel any certain way other than just even and normal and just there, and so that's definitely something that I always recommended to people. Compression clothes, that helps me a lot with my anxiety. So really tight compression leggings, I always wear a pair of those underneath my jeans, or even this sweatshirt that I'm wearing now, I always wear a really tight tank top underneath everything. It kind of mimics feeling like you're being hugged, you're being hugged everywhere because all of your clothes are really tight, and then you have your layer of normal clothes on top of it. That's something that helps me a lot. I do get really hot though, so that's unfortunate, but living in the Pacific Northwest, that makes it a little bit easier. Another product, honestly, is probably gum. I chew gum all the frickin' time, especially at work. And it's also great because your breath is gonna smell awesome all the time, but it's just a good way to have a little tick, A lot of times someone's blasting music outside my house. Hello? Anyway, I tend to find myself having little tics when I'm feeling anxious or I don't have anything to do, and so tapping my legs, or I'll sit and I'll pick up my nails and I'll rip my nails off, or I'll chew on my lip. That's a really bad one. My lips are always crusty, nasty, because I sit and chew on my lip and make it bleed, which isn't good. Or I'll sit and pick up my hair down here, I'll pick off the split ends, just little things like that. And so I find that when I have gum, that is that for me, which it's not bad for you, and don't swallow it or anything, but I'll just sit and chew gum, and that's kind of my tick, and it's a nice replacement for doing something that could harm yourself in the other way, like ripping your nails off. Next question. Do you go to therapy? Is that something that has helped you work through trauma in your life? Okay, well, I'm gonna call myself out a little bit here. I have gone to therapy. I really need to call my counselor and set up another appointment because I've been avoiding her. I've seen 5 or 6 different therapists, and because I think that's something with therapy that people don't understand is, one, therapy is totally normal. I feel like everybody should have a counselor, everybody should see a therapist, somebody that is a neutral person in your life that you can talk to things about. You shouldn't bottle in your feelings with anything. You should just, even if it's something that you just need to bitch about, you know, you need somebody to talk to. So I definitely think that counseling works and can work for anybody with any problem that they have. The only thing about counseling that I feel like a lot of people don't talk about is that you don't just, you know, Google counselor near me, click the first one, and then you're in therapy and everything is great. Like, it's the same thing with building trust with a friend. You know, you don't make a friend and on the first day tell them your entire life story and trust them with that information. You know, even though a therapist legally has to keep the information between the both of you, you're still building a relationship with somebody and getting comfortable with them. And that's the reason that I've seen like 5 or 6 counselors, because, you know, I'll start seeing somebody for a while and on the 5th or 6th visit, I'm just like, you know, this isn't the person for me. You have to find somebody that you feel like really understands you and gets where you're coming from and can give you the right advice, you know, because I've seen counselors that are really shitty assholes, honestly, like really horrible people. And then I've seen counselors that are super nice and really great, and I liked them as a human being. I just didn't like them as a counselor. They just weren't the right counselor for me with my specific things that I'm dealing with. And so I think that's something about counseling that you have to be prepared for, is that you might not like the person that you meet, and that has nothing to do with the therapy part of itself. It's just remember that you're actually talking to a real person that has a real life, and you might just not get along with them. So if you go see a therapist and you don't have a great first time, find another one. Honestly, like, just keep searching, because people that have therapists that they like have good experiences. I'm calling myself out a little bit here because so with my PTSD, I have a lot of memory loss with traumas that I've been through. And so, I know that, okay. The things that are like the deep down cause of my anxieties and panic attacks are things that, like, I know that they're there, I just choose not to remember them. I've like blacked them out from my memory, and so I haven't actually dealt with them. And so a lot of times what happens is I'll start seeing a counselor, and I'll start, you know, they'll start breaking down my wall a little bit, and it will be going great. And then once they hit that point all the way in the back of the wall where it's the really dark stuff, and they're like, okay, like, now's the time, we gotta, you know, open up this book and see what's there and deal with it, I just stop going, which is really bad. And you should not do this. Like, get it off your chest, talk about your dark shit, get it out of your brain, deal with it. And I need to do that too. And so this is why I'm not a mental health professional. Don't take, you know, my advice unless it's helping you. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna go back to the counselor that I've been seeing recently. I got sick. I don't know if you guys saw any of that, but I have some videos about it. I got really sick, and so I hadn't seen my counselor in a while, and I still haven't gone back because we're at that point where we're gonna start getting into the nitty-gritty of it, and I think I'm ready. So, yes. Woo! Somebody said, if you were someone you know was feeling suicidal, what would you recommend for them to do if they don't want to use the national hotline or talk to family or friends about it? Oh, that's a deep one. I would probably tell them that everything that you're feeling right now is temporary. Everything that you're going through and is getting you to this breaking point is temporary. And even though it feels like everything is crashing down around you, you're not going to feel like that at some point in your life. And I can't tell you when, but taking the pain away now is not going to make anything better. Working through it and coping with it is going to make you a stronger, better person. And you're going to be grateful for the life that you have, that you kept. Something that I try and say to people is, in 2 years, you're not going to even be remotely where you are at mentally in 2 years from now. And then when they say, well, 2 years is a long time, I don't want to wait that long to not feel like this, I try and remind them, look at how fast the last 2 years went by. It goes by so much faster than you think. And even though everything right now feels so real and just so breaking, it's not going to be forever. And you just have to hold out a little bit longer. Next question says, how do you maintain friendships and go out and do things with anxiety or other mental health issues? This is probably the thing that is like the most frustrating with my anxiety, is the friendship part of it and maintaining friendships. And sorry, that's like so weird timing. My friend Brian just messaged me and just said, hey, fucking nerd. Okay, I'm sorry. Anyways, the way that I maintain friendships, honestly, I have a very small group of friends, a very small, tight-knit group of friends, and I've been friends with all of them for years, and the reason why, for me, it's easy to maintain those friendships is because they know me so well. When it comes to maintaining like newer friendships, I just be as open and honest as I can about my mental illness with them. I try and make sure that they understand that my absence in the friendship is not anything personal or due to them. I'm really it's hard because I am not a normal friend, you know, like I'm not gonna be that friend that's gonna go to your birthday parties or, you know, go out and get my nails done with you and let's go have lunch and do this and stuff. That's not my jam when it comes to my anxiety, and when it is, it's all, you know, on my anxiety's terms, which I'm trying to get better about. But, you know, there might be one day where I feel okay enough to go get lunch with you, and then, you know, the next week you ask me if I just want to hang out for an hour and I can't, you know, and it's never about that person, it's about the anxiety that I'm feeling, and I try and just be as open and honest as I can, and if the person that I'm starting to become friends with doesn't understand that, then they don't need to be in my life, because why fight for a friendship with somebody that doesn't understand you and the things that you're dealing with? I don't feel like there's a reason, honestly, and I feel bad saying that, but and it goes too, like, with feeling comfortable around somebody, you know. I think something that people need to understand, especially people that are becoming your newer friends, is that just because they're like, you can talk to me, like, I won't judge you, don't worry, doesn't mean that you're gonna trust them or feel that. You know, you have to work through that and build trust with that. And, you know, there's very few people in my life that have actually witnessed me having a panic attack, because I keep that part so private, because I get so embarrassed. And so just because I have a friend that is constantly telling me that it'll be okay because I have them there, and that they're not going to judge me if they see me like that, doesn't mean that that I don't care if they see me like that, if that makes sense. So yeah, maintaining friendships, just being as open and honest as I can with that person. And something else about going out and doing things with anxiety, and this might sound a little bit dramatic, but making sure that you have all of the possibilities covered. So all of your anxieties that you have of like, what if this happens? What if this happens? What if this happens? What if this happens? Making sure you have solutions for all of them before you go out. So, and it, you know, can seem really dramatic to some people, but if you want to hang out with me, these are the things that I gotta do. So it's up to you, you know. But basically, like, if you're anxious about, let's just give an example. Okay, say your friends all want to go out and have drinks, you know, and you're nervous about that. You're anxious about going and hanging out with everybody and having drinks and stuff. And you're nervous that you don't want to ride in an Uber, you don't want to carpool with anybody, you want to make sure that you can leave when you can, then just, you know, offer to be the designated driver, or tell everybody that you're only going to have one drink so that you can drive yourself there. You know, make sure that you have your escape route. If you're nervous that you're going to get there, you're going to start your period, and you're going to feel super embarrassed, bring a big purse with you and have an extra pair of clothes in there. If you're anxious about, you know, all of the things that you could be anxious about, just try and have solutions with them when you go. And then if you get there and, you know, none of your solutions are panning out, hopefully your friends are people that you've built that trust with, and so you can be like, hey guys, I had a good time, I'm gonna head out though because I'm feeling anxious and I just want to be home. And it won't be like some big admission of guilt that you're leaving the night early, you know. Okay. Someone said, when you get anxiety, what are things that help you through it, and what are things that the people around you can help you through it? So one of the biggest things is like being aware of why you're getting anxiety when you are, trying to find what the root cause of the problem is so that you can find the solution. A lot of times, you know, you could just be sitting there playing on your phone and you start to get really bad anxiety, and you feel like it's like, I'm getting anxiety for no reason. I'm sitting in my house playing on my phone. Why am I anxious? A lot of times there's a subconscious issue that is in your brain, and if you try and just sit and analyze it first before you start spiraling, you can come up with solutions for why you shouldn't be feeling anxious, you know. So I had a friend that was feeling really anxious, and you know, she kept saying, I don't know why I'm feeling this way, I don't know why I'm feeling this way. And I said, well, aren't you getting your wisdom teeth taken out soon, like in a couple weeks from now? And she's like, yeah, and I'm really nervous about it. That's probably something that is manifesting in your brain. You're nervous about getting your wisdom teeth out, you're starting to get anxiety about it, and your brain subconsciously does this thing where you know that that's what it's about, but you don't want to think about it because you feel like it's going to make your anxiety worse. But sometimes confronting it head on can help you get over it. Another thing is kind of like babying your anxiety. I don't know if that makes sense, but a lot of times, and I used to do this a lot, and I see this in a lot of other people when they start feeling anxious, You know, because mental health can be a really dehumanizing feeling. And so we tend to get really frustrated with ourselves when we start getting mental health symptoms in a time that we don't want to. Or, you know, when do we ever want to? But, you know, there's times that I would get anxiety and mentally I would be like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, what the hell? Why does this happen to me? I'm so fucking annoyed. Like, I just want to be normal. I just want to fucking do whatever it is I'm doing and not feel like this. Like, I'm so fucking stupid for feeling like this. And that doesn't get you anywhere. You know, tearing yourself down for having mental health doesn't do anything for you. And so something that helps me a lot when I start feeling anxious is trying to mother myself almost. Like, I'll sit and try and do deep breathing and tell myself, like, everything is going to be okay. There is nothing that can hurt you right now. You're going to be all right. Just keep breathing. You know, just kind of babying your mental health. You know, you don't have to be hard on yourself. You don't have to feel frustrated with yourself because it's not always something that you have control over. And so if you don't have control over it, it's not your fault. Something that other people around me can do to help is, you know, it's hard because it can be situational. Like, sometimes I just need to be alone. I just need to get the fuck out of there and go be by myself so that I can talk myself out of a panic attack. And sometimes when I'm with somebody, they can help me not have a panic attack by talking to me, but it really just depends. So I feel like something that people around me can do to help is just try and always understand. And if you can't understand, just at least don't make the other person feel bad about it, you know? I have a really hard time not feeling guilty for, you know, not visiting my family or going out with friends. And the thing that helps me not feel like that is them not making me feel like that. And, you know, it's hard because it all goes into a big cycle. You know, if I bail on going to dinner with a friend, right? And then I feel guilty about it, that I didn't go with them. If they're like, dude, it's totally fine. You're like, don't worry about it. Like, I get it. You have anxiety. We can do it whenever. Just let me know. That gives me the relief that they're not expecting of me. And then it makes me feel like I can go to dinner with them the next time, you know? But if they're like, dude, like, I miss you, like, I get it, but like, I miss you, and like, you always bail, and I understand it's anxiety, but like we need to hang out, you know? That starts to make me feel like there's this expectation on me, and the next time that they ask me to go to dinner, I'm gonna have to say yes, regardless of how I feel. And what if the next time they ask me, I'm in the middle of a panic attack, and then I have to get dinner with them, and then I'm gonna throw up, and I'm gonna freak out, and it's like a big cycle. And so even though that might be the truth, that you miss me and you want me to go out to dinner with you, don't make me feel guilty about it, because guaranteed I probably will cancel more often after that because of my anxiety. It's hard and it gets frustrating. And it's also frustrating because it's not anybody else's responsibility to deal with my anxiety but me. But if you want to be a part of my life, then that's something that you're going to have to deal with too. Because if you don't help deal with it, then you're part of the problem, and then you're not going to see me, you know? And so it gets hard, even the little things, like having to cancel and somebody being like, okay, yeah, no problem, don't worry about it. And I'm like, okay, I can spend the rest of that day, instead of spiraling and panicking, feeling like, okay, I got, you know, everything figured out, I canceled my plans, I'm gonna be okay, I'm gonna chill, and then I can hopefully recover and start fresh in the morning. But if it goes the other way where I cancel, and even if someone's like, oh, okay, no, I understand, alright, well, I'll see you next time then. that instantly makes me feel guilty. And then I spend the rest of the day spiraling in my anxiety. And so instead of taking a break and being like, hey, I'm anxious, I just need time to relax, I spend the rest of that night feeling bad, guilty, stressing out, spiraling, panic attack, and then usually it bleeds into the next day. And so it's like, if you act this way, that's going to help cause me to have more anxiety, which is going to make it so that it's a longer amount of time before I'm going to say yes to the next time that you want to hang out with me. So, circle of life. Yeah. Someone said, is it hard to have a social life for you with your mental illness? It so is for me, LOL. Yep. I think the thing that helps me have a social life with my anxiety is kind of touching on the a couple of questions ago about celebrating the little things. When I am feeling good, I try and force myself to say yes to as many things that come my way. And that's been helping me a lot have more of a social life. Because if I'm feeling good and someone asks me to hang out, I try and just say yes. Just say yes and just go, get in the car, right when they ask, go to the thing. And a lot of times not giving my brain time to find reasons not to go and find ways to panic and find reasons to be anxious and just going and doing it. A lot of times that helps more than pre-planning it out. Even though I said to pre-plan out all of your escape plans. It's hard because it just depends on the situation, you know, but that's been helping me have a social life a lot. It's just when I am feeling okay to try and celebrate it and bask in it and do as much as I can, because that means that the next time that I have a bad time and I'm not feeling okay, I can at least be like, well, I know that when I get better, I can do these things, you know. Someone said, what are your triggers for your anxiety? Which is a bold ass question because there's a lot, and regardless of how many of your triggers you know, sometimes it just happens and there's nothing specific that's, you know, triggering it. Or it's a subconscious thing that you're already stressed about, you know. But some, like, instant triggers for me are, I don't like being far away from my house at all. Like 20 minutes max, and I'm okay. If I have to travel anywhere that's farther than being 20 minutes from my house, I'm going to have anxiety. And I know that my mom and dad are watching this, and I love you guys. It sucks that you live far away from me. I still will come visit you, and I love you. It just sucks, and it gives me anxiety. But what doesn't give me anxiety at this point, you know? So, it's fine. But being away from my house, I don't like that just because this is my safe place. And so if I'm anywhere farther than like 20 minutes, it doesn't really feel like, oh, well, if I get anxiety, I can just zip on home and I'll be fine, you know? It feels more daunting, like I'm away from home. So I don't travel at all. But yeah, can't fly. I don't like riding in the car with a lot of other people. I have to be the driver just because I have to have that like sense of control. So I don't like being driven around whatsoever. And there's few people that I'm comfortable riding in the car with. There's so many. The bathroom being taken. This is something that I feel like a lot of people, this is like a really taboo thing to talk about. Like if anxiety is taboo to talk about, this is like, not a lot of people talk about this, but mental health, especially anxiety, can cause stomach problems 100%. Like, and nobody likes to talk about this, you know? Whoa, what you barking at? Oh, hey, you're fine. You're fine. You're fine. Cut it out. Good girl. Please. Pepper. Stop it! Pep! My goodness. Hey. There's no one outside. She's such a brat. Yeah, people don't like talking about this, but like anxiety really does cause gut problems, and that's like one of the big reasons that I don't like being in the car with other people or going to events where there's a lot of people there. I don't like being somewhere where there's only one bathroom, or I like have to plan out like, okay, how many bathrooms is there per number of people that are going to be at the party or going to be at the event or what have you, because when you get anxiety, at least for me, and I know for a lot of people, it can hurt your stomach really bad, and that's one of the symptoms, is getting a really queasy stomach. Hi. Whether that is, you know, having the shits or throwing up, having gas. Yeah, it gets really nerve-wracking. Yeah, she's upset about it. I think she wants me to play, but there's a lot of things that go into anxiety and a lot of things with mental health. Oh, please don't. But everybody has different triggers. Everybody has different symptoms when it comes to their mental health. Everybody deals with it differently. Not everything works for everybody. And not everything that I say works for me and works all of the time, you know? That's something that really sucks, is how situational mental health can be. You're such a brat. So, I hope that somebody got something out of this. I kind of feel like I was rambling a lot. I'm sorry if you can hear me heavy breathing through this whole video, but yeah, if you ever need somebody to talk to, I'm here, and I'm serious. I'm here if you ever need somebody to talk to. I think the biggest thing and I'm just gonna leave it off on this, is that you are not alone, okay? You are not alone. You are not crazy. I hate how much social media has romanticized mental illness, because it's not a pretty thing to experience. There's nothing cool about it. There's nothing about it that should be celebrated. Like, it's not a pretty thing to experience, you know? Not people, it's not like, oh, I have anxiety and I'm a nervous girl, you know? It's staying up 24 hours straight because you can't sleep because you're scared of the nightmares that are gonna come, you know? It's having panic attacks, not just crying into a pillow. It's, you know, hitting yourself in the head, pulling your hair out, ripping your nails off, throwing up, you know, having the shits. It's losing friendship and having to try different medications, and it's a lot of stuff that's not pretty, and it's a really lonely mental illness, and it's a really selfish mental illness, and it sucks, and you're not alone in this, and don't let anybody make you feel like it's not okay that you deal with these things, you know? I think that there's more people that suffer from mental illness than people that talk about it, and I don't know. You're not fucking crazy, okay? That was my mental health talk. Sorry if it was not as positive as you wanted it to be, or if you got nothing out of this, or if you don't have anxiety and this didn't help you, or if you do have anxiety and this didn't help you. I'm not a mental health professional, so take what I say with a grain of salt because these are just my experiences and how I feel about this. But I do hope that it helps somebody. So thank you for watching. Make sure to like this video if you liked it. You know, thumbs it down if you didn't, I guess. I'll understand. But share this, subscribe if you want to have more sit-down talks like this, and check out all of my other videos and things. That's all. Okay. Bye!